everyone, Senrai here. Today I'm going to be watching the 12th and final episode of Spy Family. I say final episode, but it's really just final of like part 1 because part 2 has like already been announced for like the fall anime season, so it's final for a little bit until it picks back up. But yeah, last episode was pretty dramatic because we had Anya. I almost called her Satanya for some reason. Anya actually, put forth the effort to get that Stella, and some things did not go so well, but she did manage to be like full hero and save a drowning boy in the pool, with the help of Lloyd, and she got that Stella, and she's pretty happy about that, pretty proud about that. And there was talks of like a reward. We're not gonna get like a castle item, I don't think, but a dog was brought up. Maybe we'll get that, especially because they were also like in a different area, different context, talking about like bomb dogs, which sounds just horrible. But these two things may be connected. I guess we'll see in this episode. So let's jump on in and see how things go. If I can find the right thing. 3, 2, 1, play. She seems like she's not in a great mood. I kind of get that impression. A beverage? I'm aware. Okay. I feel claustrophobic in that little area that she's in. It just looks so cramped. I don't know. I like to believe so. Just gotta keep on hoping. So yeah, no dialogue from our main character yet. It was just mostly just narration and a little bit from her. And I forgot to get more water, so that's unfortunate. Because I'm almost out. Also, real quick, I just want to say the show is popular in spite of its English translation, not because of it. Just randomly thought I'd point that out. No particular reason. Oh, okay. Well, that was sudden. Well, I guess I'll be taking this. Since nobody's gonna complain. With a bang, you might even say. Man, that guy needs some sleep. Like, really. I guess having Damien as a child takes a toll on you. They're really just kind of recapping us, aren't they, for some reason? Like, I remember pretty much all this stuff. That could be nice. Yeah, the life of a doctor is a rough one. Yes, I know, Anya. Yeah, I can't tell Mommy that, though. When Dahlia does, it's supposed to be a secret from Mommy. And you, but, you know, can't keep a secret from your Esper child. Maybe you should stab it. It's like, I don't want to be left alone with Mommy, please. Yeah, it's definitely rough being a doctor. Yeah, he really doesn't have a break from his job now that I think about it. That's gotta be kind of rough. I don't think so. Well, maybe you should work more, huh? These gossiping housewife types. The worst. They have no evidence for any of this shit, but they're just spewing these rumors. Ain't that the truth? Okay. Just declares that as he comes home. Try not to sneeze. A great choice. There's no time to rest. There's never time to rest. Just don't collapse, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, that's really not healthy looking. But you look cute with my hat on you. Uh, uh, well, I don't want to be bad mouthed, so I kind of got to do this once in a while. Just so like monotone. So now if he's smart, as soon as he gets out of there, he just takes a nap somewhere. Now that they already think he's out, you know, with the family. Yeah, that can't be a good thing. Hey, I remember you. Do you have to though? Can you like not? Yeah, you're kind of busy. Maybe next time. Business what? Took me a second to realize what I read there. Because I kind of autofilled it as, you know, being gonna be closed, but. uh, but why would you do it in an aquarium? But my family. But Anya's wants to have fun at the aquarium. Why are you trying to ruin my family outing? Oh wow, that octopus is just like pressed up against that glass. Yeah, I went to an aquarium once. It was fun. He's got a lot going on. It's hard to explain. Mostly because you still think he's a doctor. That's something. Oh my god. Oh my god. Too many coincidences in one episode. We have an assassin wife. Can she take care of them for us? The suffering is real. How horrible! You can't do that to a poor penguin. That is not okay. I would love to. If we could save that poor penguin. Penguins are my favorite animals, so you can't abuse a penguin like that. She can like barely see. 200 penguins. I knew that was a lot. Man, could you imagine having your job be feeding penguins? They all just flock to you. That'd be great. You're like their favorite person. I'll help you out. Yeah, somehow. They had to be able to identify it. Maybe Anya could read the minds of the penguins. You have no idea what's going on. Anya does, though. Is she really reading the penguins' minds? Wow. I was joking, but hey, if you can do it, go for it. Yeah, I would imagine. Did it spit out? Trying to spit it out? Yeah, this is why you don't do that to a penguin. Yeah, how do you do this without being, like, noticed? I know, how horrible. Can't be that hard, you just, penguin, fish. Okay, well, that explains that. They look pretty much the same. Can you really, like, identify the faces? Years. Yeah, don't take better care of the penguins. Yeah, I think you beat your time. Yeah, yeah, isn't it obvious? Kind of comes with the territory of being a spy. Yeah, they want something from you. Aquarists. He's just really impressing his senpai today. You're like part of the Red Sea of penguins. Yeah, that's definitely the penguin. It's suffering so much, it's honestly hard to watch. Oh wow, that's cool. That looks so refreshing. Just want to jump in there. Yeah, you can see it. I'm trying to help you. Please settle down. Yeah. I'm expecting somebody to show up, though, yeah. I'm planning on helping it, and you're probably going to attack him. I don't trust you. Those eyes. Well, I found it first, so it's my penguin now. It smells like a forger. Well, he sure showed you, didn't he? Yeah, I didn't trust this guy. He just jumps. He didn't even go down the stairs, he just jumped. I'm trying to help the penguin. Will people leave me alone for 5 minutes? Ugh. I just take the penguin home, I mean, at this point. Maybe just stick it in your pocket. And she's just so left out. Like, your mama does not know about any of this stuff, even though both, daddy and daughter do. But okay, that's one way to get her help without explaining the situation to her. Yeah, you don't want to mess with that child. God, that flexibility. His head went through the roof. No, I'd say you did well. Yeah, wow. He found a penguin and it wouldn't let him leave. It enjoyed its company too much. Did he really bring the penguin? Well, he brought a penguin. Is a real penguin inside the fake penguin? I mean, I don't know how he'd do that, but that'd be something. He had to have done something with the other penguin. Yeah, you better be. This guy works really, really hard. So yeah, things are going well so far. I mean, aside from that. Okay, she went from being on bottom to top. At least she likes it. God, that's adorable. And everyone needs a rest sometimes, like, it's just part of life. Just keep that in mind. Really? Yeah, he's gonna be very confused. It's like, I didn't do anything. Director Chimera. Yes. Wasn't there a Spyro game with a penguin that, was like a military penguin? Yeah, who needs friends when you have stuffed animals? Ritual. Okay. It was just so sketchy, this organization, all this stuff. Too slow, Anya took them. Creative. She watches too much anime. Lugging this thing around ain't easy. Yeah, she just watches anime. Well, yeah, that's what her daddy is. Ouch. Also known as my parents. If you drag it around so much, it's just gonna ruin it. Really are giving it a grand tour. This is where you restore HP. That's one word for it. I'm glad they have some clarification text on screen. Yeah, definitely don't want to go in there at the wrong time. So yeah, so far the dog thing has not come into play at all, so I guess that wasn't going to be continued this episode. Nope. He's got more years of experience as a spy than you. You never stood a chance. Yeah, definitely worse things than that on there. And I'm sure, yeah, she's also got things you don't want to touch, so... Okay, that's a bit of an overreaction, Anya. Maybe we should get her another penguin. Okay, he's making an effort. His penguin voice is great. And I see, yeah, she's got one too. I guess it actually worked. God, the shades. Where'd she even get the shades? They look so silly. At least he gets to kind of cover their face. Man, could you imagine having parents actually willing to do this with you? Go the old Mazen Koza nuts. Yeah. That was some really cute stuff near the end there. I mean, seeing parents at all in anime is a fairly uncommon thing, so... I mean, seeing them go that far to play with the child is quite the sight. But, you know, the alternative is having to run away, you know. They're both excellent lackeys. Wish my nose wouldn't itch so much. It really did not feel too much like a final episode. Which, if there's, you know, already planned a part 2, it kind of makes sense, but... I mean, it did kind of feel like a final episode because of all the, you know, kind of like recapping stuff they did. Although it wasn't really needed. But other than that, I didn't really feel too much like it, you know, any different than any other typical episode of the show. Yeah, except for the fact that there was no preview or anything. I guess that's That's the thing. But yeah, that was the 12th and final, for now, episode of Spy Family. And it definitely was a good episode. I mean, you can really see just how hard Lloyd works, because he does work really hard. I mean, he's a spy. He's got this very long-term, large-scale mission of importance that required the forging of this family and all that, right? So that's like 24/7 kind of job, because a family is sort of something that you live with. Like, you don't really get a break from it generally, right? So, and he does that on top of just other missions kind of thrown to him. So he's just, as a result, really overworking himself. I mean, that's not a problem exclusive to spies. It's just kind of a Japanese, thing in general. But the man is definitely working really hard, and you can really tell that the toll it's taken on him, because he has to, like, especially exert himself, because he's afraid to elicit doubts amongst the neighbors and stuff like that this could be anything less than a legit family. So, it kind of results in him having to push himself above and beyond even that to make sure to impress them, basically get their approval, right? Personally, I wouldn't bother, but I do get that he wants to leave nothing to chance for something as massively important as this. I definitely get it, but it's just, you see how just dead inside he is, how exhausted he is. It's rough to watch, but the good news is that it did lead to go on like a family outing together, which is a good thing, if you can do that, right? So even though it's obviously difficult to push yourself to do that with everything else, it's a nice thing to be able to do. So there is that. The aquarium itself did look like a pretty great place. I mean, it had penguins. I mean, 200 penguins on top of it. Like, what a great place. The aquarium I went to didn't have penguins, so it's definitely good. But aside from the fact that a penguin abuse, making a penguin swallow some film or whatever, like, that is horrible. Like, just hearing about it was horrible. And then we actually had to see the penguin, like, choking, trying to spit it out, clearly suffering because of it. It was really hard to see. Like, I did not appreciate that one bit. So if we can screw over whatever bad guy's responsible for that, that's something I would be 100% in support of, right? But yeah, Anya with her mind reading abilities, Lloyd with his job as usual. Yor is the only one not really knowing what's going on, but that didn't stop her from contributing somewhat. She did just destroy that guy, like, head through the roof. It was great. You don't kidnap Yor's child. It's not something you get away with. I'm pretty sure we've established that in this show. I mean, technically she got kidnapped once before Yor even entered the show, but aside from that, But yeah, Lloyd cleverly taking the job of a newbie so he could interact with the penguin without drawing attention to himself, and also caused that guy to have a benefit, because when he finally did come to the job, he was offered, like, the job of chief because of he was, like, extremely impressive. 200 penguins, like, remembering them all, having a fancy feeding method, like, clearly an exemplary employee, so clearly he deserves to be to have such a position. But of course it wouldn't work out very well because he doesn't actually have those skills, so even if he took the promotion he'd probably lose it. But that's a future problem, of course. And yeah, did we actually find out what he did with the penguin? I mean, he had it in the one room, and then the next time we see him, he's just, like, has a fake penguin, right? So I assume he just extracted it, put it back where it was, got the fake penguin, then came back, So I guess that's just kind of stuff that happened off screen, which is fine. I was just kind of hoping we would take it home and we just have a pet penguin. I mean, last episode was talking about having a pet dog, but a pet penguin would be way better, right? So that's kind of what I was thinking, but it makes sense that wouldn't actually happen. It is kind of silly even for a comedy anime, but yeah, Anya really did like the big penguin, though. The fluffy, the stuffed animal penguin, right? She was, like, really enjoying it, which, I get it. It's I would love a giant penguin plushie. That'd be great. I wonder if I think I have, like, a small penguin plushie thing that I got from a Dave & Buster's reward thingy, but I don't know where it is, so I'm not going to look for it right now. But definitely much smaller than that massive behemoth. And yeah, how did we end off the episode? Anya playing with her toys, right? Doing the classic, role-playing with both of the, the toys. My niece would have me do that with her, so, it's just the kind of thing kids around her age like to do, right? Especially if you can get somebody else to role-play the other animal, that's always ideal, right? But and she eventually did. Eventually, Mommy and Daddy got to play along as well when she starts to threaten to run away and all that. But yeah, they really did not want her in their room. It's very, very understandable, but yeah, she was pretty upset about it. But we don't want her to get hurt, so it's kind of important to not go in there. And yeah, she's got the shades, and she's being all spy outside, and You know, mommy and daddy are also around with big old stuffed animals. Well, one was big, one was just a fairly small one. But yeah, I just love people just like watching them, and you know, because that's not a sight you see very often, right? So it's definitely a pretty eye-catching sort of thing. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Definitely making a lot of progress as a family, I would say. And the family became slightly bigger because we now have a stuffed animal penguin, right? So good stuff. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this episode. So what do I have to say about the show as a whole? I mean, not really too much. I mean, Anya was a big part of the appeal of the show for me. You know, she's obviously insanely adorable, goes without saying, and her psychic ability really lends itself to a lot of interesting comedic situations, and just the fact that mommy's an assassin and daddy's a spy, you know, and neither of them know about the other person, like that alone, you know, obviously, a lot of humor can come from that, and it certainly did. So, she's a very entertaining, fun family unit we have here, and Anya being like an orphan for a while there, and you know, not like an upper class girl at all. So she's definitely a bit of an adjustment to be able to function as an academy that is very much prominent with that type of student, right? All these rich, spoiled kind of kids. She's doing her best to get along with them, and does make one good friend, Becky, in spite of all that. You know, who they get along very well, which is always great to see. And yeah, Anya doing her best there, and you know, your cool assassin, you know, obviously we get to see her, like, action sequences and stuff, her amazing kick. We got to see that in this episode. And we've definitely seen it before as well, you know, when she wants to go combat mode, she can combat pretty well. Even drunk, she was able to combat pretty well in her previous episode. So, you're just a great, amazing mommy material, just, you know, in every possible way. So she was obviously pretty good as well. And, you know, Lloyd is obviously a very hard worker. He does his best to just keep his family unit together, keep the missions going, make everything work, you know, even trying to help out Anya with her stuff, right? Because she's also part of the mission. She's got to get in good with Damien and all that. It's part of the plan. He tries to help with that, you know, trying to get her to apologize and all that. So, yeah, Lloyd is always very busy, you know. Definitely more busy than anyone else in this show. But he also has a cool spy name, you know, Tassogare Twilight. That's also pretty cool. But it's a pretty fun show, you know. Going into the show, I knew it was like a very, you know, hyped up show. I think even now it has like a 9 out of 10 on my anime list. And so I definitely knew it would be a show worth watching, and it certainly was, you know. But it did take a little while to get going because it's a family show, but actually having the full family developed took a few episodes to even get to that point, even a few episodes even more to get to the academy. So it was kind of one of those like bit of a slow build sort of shows. So it did take a little bit for it to really get good, if you want to call it, if you want to phrase it that way. But once it did, yeah, I could definitely see the general appeal of the show, and I definitely enjoy it. And when part 2 does come out, I will most likely watch that as well. So yeah, thank you for watching, and hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.